after being utterly victorious in the previous round, the Sub250 Dollyfly16 is back, and he's back for more. Now, I'm going to introduce a second drone in a second. I just need you to bear in mind it doesn't have an 04 Pro in it because I was in the middle of changing it over and I was about to put it back in and I've actually forgot where I've put it. So we're going to pretend it comes with an 04 Pro and that it's got an 04 Pro in it, because it does, and it will have, but it just hasn't for this video. But I wanted to get this video out because this is actually quite a requested video. So without any further ado, the Sub250 Dollyfly16 faces off against an unusual competitor. In the WalleFPV Eagle2. Now let's take a look at some of the headline specifications between these two. So the Sub250 Dollyfly16 is a 1.6 inch. The Wally Eagle is 1.6 but also comes with 1.4 props as well if you wanted to switch between the two for more efficiency. The Sub250 Dollyfly16 is a 2S drone. The Wally Eagle is a 3S drone, but will also run on 2S, admittedly with less power, less pop, but it will run on a 2S battery nonetheless. The Wally Eagle has prop guards, so you can fly it around people, and in places like America, etc., you can get your waivers to do more crazy things. The Wally Eagle does not. However, I'm sure there are some available, probably somewhere. However, we're going to mark it on what it comes with, and you know, as it stands, it doesn't actually come with them. Both use an XT30 connector, and both have a micro USB on their flight controllers. The WalleFPV, I keep calling it the Wally Eagle FPV, the WalleFPV Eagle2 uses 10002 motors. As I say, they are 3S voltage specific. I'm just looking for the specs of them. I can't actually find them. So I can confirm they are 14,000 kV. Now, really interestingly, just looking on WalleFPV's website, obviously I've added a GPS to this drone. This was not an option when it came out, but interestingly, they've now added an option for you guys to have a GPS in exactly the same place that I put it. So that's trend setting, shall we say. Now I play the trend set music. I'm obviously not going to do that. Okay, so switching back to the Sub250 Dollyfly. So the motors on this are 1103 14,000 kV. The difference is the flight controller will only accept a 2S. So you could run a 3S. Whether that flight controller would pop or not is another story. The kV of the motors is the same, albeit these are slightly larger. Now, where the WalleFPV Eagle2 really does win out over the Dollyfly is the fact that the flight controller is expandable. So you can add a GPS, you can add LED. I mean, you can add LED strips, to be fair, to the Sub250, but you can add a GPS to it, you can add other things to it because there are spare UARTs, whereas on the Sub250 there are no spare UARTs. So it's a point to the WalleFPV in that instance. Both come with ELRS, and it's a fully functional ELRS, so both win out there. So ultimately, and I don't know who has won this particular battle because I've done this without actually checking as I was going through it, but ultimately whichever wins depends on use case scenario. So if you wanted to fly around people, you're gonna have to have ducks. A lot of countries don't necessarily stipulate that at this moment in time, but I can absolutely assure you that it's coming, and it's coming to all countries. If you want to fly more freestyle and be a little bit more locked in and have a 3S instead of a 2S, then the WalleFPV is going to be the one for you. This has been a really interesting battle, and like I say, I don't know which one's going to win until I add up the points at the end. I suspect there'll be a point or two in it, and it will probably be the WalleFPV because one, it's 3S, and because two, that flight controller does have extra UARTs to add GPS, etc. to. However, there is one big advantage that the Sub250 does have over it, and that is the price. $370 with an 04 Pro for the Sub250 Dollyfly16. The WalleFPV Eagle2, the WalleFPV Eagle2 with an 04 Pro comes in at a bit of an eye-watering $430. And where the Sub250 also picks up an extra point, so we're not going to know until about now who's won this, is the camera protection. And I'll try and flash up some images or videos from the original review of the WalleFPV. There is no camera protection on it. Now, it's not too much of a problem because of how light it is and how little inertia there is, but there is no camera protection on it. And also, the Sub250 has that dampening system built in as well. Although there's no problems with the footage on the WalleFPV whatsoever, there's no jello, there's no vibrations, there's nothing like that. There's also no protection. So, again, you know, it's horses for courses. I think by now we'll probably have our winner. The question is, as always, in the comments down below, do you agree with who I've picked as the winner? Which one of these drones would you take with you? Would you have one as a specific use case scenario? Or do you think one of them is good enough as a jack of all trades? Maybe not necessarily a master of none, but a jack of all trades nonetheless. Let me know down in the comments. As always, I reply to all comments and I love chatting with you guys. So I'll look forward to speaking to you all down there. And until next time, peace out. Next, a 2.8 versus Dollyfly16 next. Who wants that comparison? Smash them comments down below. Let me know how crazy I really am. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most, so watch it and let me know if they're right.